So I'm rolling the slab about 1/4 of an inch thick, and then I put it on the wheel. I'm gonna brush the sodium silicate just in the middle section, and then I'm gonna stretch a little bit so I could get crackle texture. So I use the torch to dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna stretch it. Okay, you can see after I either dry a little bit and stretch a little bit, so you can see the contrast of the crackle in the center circle. And then I'm going to put it on the chuck and stretch it a little bit, so I have a dome. Put it upside down. I could trim a little bit off. I don't need to have so much clay there in the edge. And then I'm going to use the sponge to slightly push right, so I'm keeping it there for a while. I am making the base. Right, so I'm going to use a heat gun to dry the wall a little bit, so it's a little bit stronger. When I'm touching, I don't mess up the wall. So I bring back the lid I just made, put it on the little chuck, and I'm gonna attach to it. All right, compress a bit so the attached part will be more secure. Trim the clay a little bit overhang on the edge, trim it off. Right, so that's the crackle on the lid, and I will show you how to finish up fitting them together using my number 8 trimming tool to cut the gallery. So now I am ready to cut it, but before I cut it, I like to put a little bit of a groove there. And I was using my number 2 tool to make the mark there, because I'm going to trim the outside a little bit. And I'm afraid the mark is going away, that the hole I puncture, I might lose the location. So I just make a line there. And then I'm bring my number 8. Okay, this is number 8 trimming tool from my tool set. So this is a very thin blade. It's just fit in there for cutting the groove using number 8. And then you're going to use the very sharp knife. My number 10 is very good for cutting cut it off, because this is thinner blade, so it's less resistance. All we need to do is just hold the tool steady. Okay, so successfully separated. And here in the corner, usually is the weakest spot. So you want to use the clay coil to fill in there's a little gap there. So you want to fill it in. So I brushed a little bit water in the corner, because this is a little bit on the drier side. So I want to make sure that when I'm attaching the coil, that spot is a little bit soft, so the coil after I attach is now going to crack. Right, adding quite a bit of water to rehydrate it. And put it aside, and while I am trimming this part here to get the bottom part right. And you can use either a number 8 to get the fine detail trimming, or you can find my number 2 trimming tool that has a nice 90 degrees corner here, that you can also use that to trim. Like I told you at the beginning of this project, it's even better when you have a thicker wall. Because you're going to put the gallery on the wall. thicker clay, you have more room to work with. Okay, so the gallery is done, and I could pick it up from my wheel and trim the foot. So now I have so many tools to choose from for rough trimming, removing most of the clay. If you have an L-shape tool, you can use the number 3 carbide to do that. Or if you have a looping tool, like my new looping tool, you can use that to remove most of the clay. So do all the heavy lifting. And then I'm bring back my number 2 trimming tool to get a corner a bit better. Because the looping tool or the number 3 doesn't have the sharp 90 degrees. Okay, so that's the button, trim the foot, and then I'm going to use this. Okay, so put it on the side, and then when I'm trimming down the gallery and try to put it in there and see if the fitting is good. Bring back my, and this piece, it has a little dome here, so you have to put it on the chuck. If you don't have a chuck, okay, which I will recommend you make a chuck for specific this project, it will be a lot more easier. You can let it sit on your base and then trim right on the base. Then you won't be able to use the base to fit your, see how tight it fit. So it's better to have a chuck. And you can add the coil now, or you can add the coil later. Just a very thin piece of a coil to reinforce the corner. You apply some water, or maybe a little bit slip is even better. Slip and score a little bit. And put the coil in the corner and use a piece of a stick to compress it. Right, so before I take my time to make sure the coil is staying there. I'm compressing spend quite some time to compress the coil and also to make it smooth. And then before I attach to the chuck, I want to make sure that piece is level. Okay, make sure the bubble is in the center. Okay, that looks good. Again, I already soak the chuck in the water, so it's easier for the clay coil to stick on the chuck. Okay, and then I will slightly tap into the chuck to find the center. This piece is not quite in the center yet, as you can see from the top camera. From there, see that there's still wobbly. So I just tap on the chuck. Now it's center. Okay. Put the clay to hold the chuck secure. Double check it here. This is good. And then I can bring back my corner tool 90 degrees, either the number 8. You can use the number 8 to so I'm taking my time to cut down this gallery here. Now I can bring back the body to see if that is fitting. Okay, so that piece is fitting there. If you wanted to, you could put a little bit of a chattering or some kind of carving on the side. Okay. Put a little bit of chattering. Right, so sodium silicate texture on the lid, and cut it in the middle to trim the gallery to fit together. Okay, so hope this project helped, and see you next time.